Have you ever been on a crowded subway trying to get off, but a wall of people is already pushing their way in? It's frustrating, right? This simple rule, let others exit before entering, seems like common sense today, but where did it come from? It's more than just being polite. It's a piece of social engineering that has evolved over centuries. Let's rewind the clock. Before the bustling cities we know today, life was slower and public spaces were less congested. In ancient societies, etiquette was often tied to social hierarchy. Who went through a doorway first was about status, not efficiency. A nobleman wouldn't wait for a commoner. This was the norm for thousands of years. The idea of a group of equals navigating a shared space was rare. The big change came with the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries. Suddenly, factories, trains, and eventually subways and elevators began cramming people into tight, enclosed spaces. Think about the first steam trains. They were a marvel, but getting on and off was chaos. There were no established rules. It was a free-for-all leading to delays, accidents, and a lot of frayed tempers. This is where the concept of flow became critical. Early urban planners and transportation engineers realized that for these new systems to work efficiently, they needed to manage the movement of people. It wasn't just about being nice. It was about preventing bottlenecks. Imagine a pipe. If you try to force water in both directions at once, nothing moves. But if you let one stream out before letting the next one in, you create a smooth, continuous flow. This principle was first applied to public transport. Railway companies started putting up signs and having conductors instruct passengers to let people off the carriage first. Why? Because a train that's stuck at the station isn't making any money. The faster they could cycle passengers, the more efficient and profitable the system became. This practical necessity started to shape social behavior. Then came the skyscraper and the elevator. The first elevators were often operated by a person who would enforce this rule directly. They'd hold the door and say, "Please let the passengers off," because a blocked elevator could hold up an entire building. As people got used to this in trains and elevators, the behavior started to become a social norm, an unwritten rule of public life. By the 20th century, this rule was so ingrained that it became a sign of a well-mannered, considerate person. It was no longer just about the efficiency of a machine. It was about respecting the people around you. It's a small act of cooperation that makes a massive collective difference. When you wait for someone to exit, you're acknowledging their space and their need to move, creating a more pleasant and functional environment for everyone. So, the next time you're waiting by a door and you pause to let someone out, remember you're not just being polite. You're participating in a social tradition born from the chaos of the Industrial Revolution, refined by the logic of engineers, and solidified into a cornerstone of modern civility. It's a tiny action with a huge history, proving that the best way to move forward together is to first let others go on their way. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this little dive into social history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories behind our everyday lives. See you next time.